You ever wonder what really separates a good TV comedy from a truly great one? Well, today we're going to go way beyond just what makes us laugh. We're diving into the very architecture of humor. We are going to build a syllabus for the art of the sitcom.
I mean, this is the ultimate debate starter, isn't it? We have all been there, right? Passionately defending our favorite show. You know, Seinfeld, The Office, I Love Lucy. Everybody's got an answer.
But what if I told you that is completely the wrong question to be asking? Seriously, what if trying to crown a single best show is actually what's stopping us from really understanding the art form?
So here's the big idea. To really get comedy, we don't need a best-of list. What we need is a syllabus, a series of masterclasses where each show teaches us something totally unique about how humor is built from the ground up.
And to do that, we have to look past the punchline. We need a framework, a new way to analyze the mechanics of what makes us laugh.
So, we're going to use these 4 lenses to build our syllabus: genre, production, narrative, and the creator's own philosophy. Let's kick things off with the first 2 and take a look at the blueprint of laughter itself.
Okay, let's start with a blueprint. Because how a comedy is filmed, its basic production style, fundamentally, and I mean fundamentally, changes the kind of jokes it can tell.
It all really starts with this one big choice: multi-camera or single camera. Is it going to be filmed like a stage play in front of a live audience, or is it going to be shot more like a movie? This one decision creates 2 completely different comedic universes.
So, I Love Lucy is our first class. By filming in front of a live audience, it created this amazing feedback loop with the crowd. That audible laughter became part of the show's DNA. It forces this theatrical rhythm, set up, punchline, and then a little pause for the laugh. It's a shared experience.
Now, The Office, it does the complete opposite. With no live audience, the comedy lives in the silence. When Michael Scott says something just awful, the camera doesn't wait for a laugh. No, it whips over to Pam's pained expression. This cinematic style creates a whole new genre, cringe comedy, where your discomfort is the joke.
Okay, so we've seen how the way a show is filmed changes its whole vibe. Now, let's look at the story itself, the actual architecture of the joke.
This quote from Larry David, it's basically a declaration of war on the traditional sitcom. For decades, comedies always ended with a warm, fuzzy moment, a lesson learned. Seinfeld just threw that entire rulebook out the window.
The absolute genius of Seinfeld was its structure. It found humor in the tiniest little social details, and then it would weave 4 separate, petty plot lines into one perfectly engineered disaster at the end. The characters never learn, they never change, and the plot's chaotic collision is the final punchline.
So, Seinfeld totally perfected the comedy of structure. But what happens when a comedic device isn't just a clever trick, but a window into a character's soul?
This is where Fleabag turns the device into a masterclass. Her breaking the fourth wall starts as a comedic tool, right? She makes us her confidant. But then you slowly realize it's a symptom. It's a symptom of trauma, a way to keep everyone at a distance. And when the priest actually notices her doing it, her coping mechanism becomes the show's central conflict. So that final wave goodbye, that isn't just an ending. That's her choosing to heal. The joke itself becomes this incredible dramatic arc.
Which brings us to our final lens, the creator. You know, the greatest comedies, they aren't made by a committee. They're driven by the singular vision of what some people call an auteur.
And we can kind of group these creators into 2 main camps. First, you've got the architects, people like Larry David or Mitchell Hurwitz from Arrested Development. They build these intricate puzzle box comedies. For them, the humor comes from the brilliant design of it all. But then you have the explorers, like Greg Daniels of The Office or Phoebe Waller-Bridge. They find humor in emotional truth, in vulnerability, and in the messy nuances of human behavior.
So, after looking through all of these lenses, what does our final curriculum actually look like? What should you be watching to get a complete education in television comedy?
Well, here it is. This is your syllabus. Each one of these shows is a masterclass in a specific element. From the absolute foundations of I Love Lucy to the insane narrative complexity of Arrested Development, and of course, the character vulnerability of Fleabag, this curriculum gives you the tools to see the art behind all the laughter.
And that brings us right back to where we started. The goal was never to crown a winner. It was to give you the tools to appreciate the craft, to see the architecture behind the laughter, and to understand why different shows make you laugh in completely different ways.
So the next time you turn on your favorite sitcom, whether it's old or new, you'll have the syllabus, you'll have the lenses. The only question left is,
What new details, what hidden structures, what brilliant little choices will you see now that you know what to look for?